out of the red corner, an undefeated mixed martial artist holding a perfect professional record.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Crossover MMA. This will be my UFC 309 recap. I went 7-5 on the card. Not too good. Timestamps will be in the description. Without further ado, let's get right into it. In the main event, we had Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title. In round one, Jon comes out, takes the center right away. Jon comes out in southpaw, throwing inside leg kicks and teeps to the body. Stipe tries to blitz, but just isn't quite fast enough to get to Jon. Jon then throws this side kick and then uses it to get this trip takedown and gets right in the top control, gets good control, and just starts landing ground and pound elbows right away. Like, it's very evident that you can see the skill gap in the lighter weight class moving up to heavyweight for the most part. Shows it's not uncommon for heavyweights not to offer much in scrambles and getting back to their feet. Jon controls Stipe for about 3.5 minutes, lands some very heavy ground and pound, very vicious with the elbows. This was complete domination. Jon was so technical at controlling Stipe and mixing in the ground and pound. Once the elbows started landing, I thought the fight would get stopped. Two of the judges gave this round a 10-8 for Jon Jones. Jon comes out, takes the center of the octagon again. Stipe lands a nice uppercut off a quick clinch attempt from Jon. Jon is mostly winning the lead hand fight battle when he's in southpaw, using that to control the distance and the range. Stipe tries to get a little more forward on the pressure, but he just can't get to Jon. Jon then lands 2 teeps to the body to get very good reactions out of Stipe. Jon is just controlling the range, and Stipe just can't get close enough to land. The 5-inch reach advantage and the speed advantage is very clear and very evident, and just really proving to be the difference. Round 3 starts. Jon comes out, lands a crispy jab right away. Stipe then blitzes Jon to try and get to him, but is just unable to get to him. Jon just simply backs away because he has nearly all the octagon behind him. Stipe probably lands his best punch of the fight so far in this uppercut, but Jon pretty much just seems unfazed and just keeps moving forward. Jon then gets right back on the pressure, lands a beautiful 1-2, and it hurts Stipe badly. Like, when you were watching it live, like, it almost froze Stipe when Jon landed the right hand. The variety of strikes are just proving to be too much for Stipe. All the kicks, the side kicks, the oblique kicks, the inside low kicks, the body kicks, they're just proving to be too much. Jon lands a clean left straight out of southpaw, and it gets a very good reaction out of Stipe as well. Stipe then tries to blitz, but just doesn't do much damage. Jon then backs Stipe up against the cage and lands a massive spinning back kick to the body, drops Stipe. Jon swarms him with ground and pound. Herb Dean steps in to stop the fight. Jon Jones wins by 3rd round TKO. This was just a complete masterclass from Jon Jones. He was never really in any kind of danger. Stipe just never really seemed in the fight. I think this fight was a combination of a few things, just the skill gap in the lighter weight class, the speed difference, and just the variety in the attacks of Jon Jones. Like, Stipe just never knew what was coming his way, whether it was jabs, overhand, straight punches, inside low kicks, oblique kicks, outside leg kicks, spinning back kicks. Jon just had the full arsenal working, and it just was too much. So I guess now is what's next for Jon Jones. He said he didn't want to retire after the fight. Does he fight Tom Aspinall? Does he fight Alex Pereira? He talked about both guys, and it sounds like he wants to fight Alex Pereira. I think it's just public negotiation on his part. Jon's been in the game a long time. He understands he's trying to get as much money as he possibly can out of his fight, as he should. He'll never be in this position again, as he's made it very clear. He's at the end of his career, and best we can wish for is 1, maybe 2 more fights. In the co-main event, we had Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler 2. Round 1, both guys come out, stand at the edge of the void. Both guys are exchanging straight punches, but nobody's really getting the better of the other. Oliveira then shoots a takedown, gets a single leg, pushes Chandler up against the cage. He tries to trip Chandler down and lands on top, but in this awkward position, they're really tied up. Neither guy can really move, but Oliveira holds position for the rest of the round. and he gets the round 10-9. Round 2, Oliveira comes out blasting kicks, teeps, and outside low kicks. Oliveira then lands a massive right hand, gets a very good reaction out of Michael Chandler. Oliveira is back on his vintage pressure from his title run, and it's just a thing of beauty. Chandler gets backed up. Oliveira then lands a massive knee to the face of Chandler. Oliveira gets another takedown, and he's right in the full mount. Oliveira then starts landing some nice ground and pound, and Chandler is just pretty much stuck on bottom at the mercy of Charles Oliveira. And this is another 10-9 round for Charles Oliveira. Round 3 starts. Oliveira comes out. He's right back on the pressure. His pressure is just putting so much stress on Chandler, and he's just circling nonstop. You can just see Chandler's just drenched in sweat because he's got to exert so much energy to circle the octagon. Meanwhile, you look at Oliveira, and he looks like he's not even breathing hard, that he's even in a fight. Oliveira gets Chandler backed up against the cage. Once again, it's a reoccurring theme. They exchange and they end up in the clinch. Oliveira then lands a nasty knee in the clinch. Then Oliveira gets another takedown, maneuvers to Chandler's back again. Oliveira controls the position, lands some good body shots. He's got a body triangle. Chandler's pretty much just stuck and can't really do anything. It's another 10-9 round for Charles Oliveira. Round 4, Michael Chandler comes out, lands some good shots. Oliveira doesn't shy away from it at all. Oliveira then backs Chandler up again up against the octagon. Chandler's landed some good shots, but you can just tell this is not where he wants to be. Oliveira then gets a takedown and he gets the back again. And it's literally like Chandler just can't do anything about it. Oliveira controls the position, rides out the round. It's another 10-9 round for Charles Oliveira. Round 5, Oliveira comes out looking to put that pressure back on. Chandler backs up against the cage, but this time Chandler lands a big right hook and then lands a massive right straight. Oliveira's very badly hurt. Oliveira then goes for a takedown. Chandler ends up on top this time, then lands several shots, most of them are to the back of the head, right in front of Keith Peterson, who does absolutely nothing about it. Oliveira is badly hurt. He literally is just holding on for dear life, trying to survive and make it through the end of the round. Chandler postures up and lands some more heavy strikes. Oliveira then kicks Chandler's hips and gets right back to his feet. Chandler lands a big left hook, and you can see the fatigue starting to set in now on Michael Chandler. Oliveira then shoots, gets the takedown, gets Chandler's back again, and you already know he's pretty much just trying to ride out the round. But there's probably not very much left in the round, and then Chandler manages to stand up with Oliveira on his back and literally just dives backwards into the mat, trying to drive Oliveira into the mat. Then Michael Chandler stands up with Oliveira on his back again right before the end of the round and dives on his back again, and the crowd is going absolutely crazy. It's a 10-9 round for Michael Chandler, but it's just too little too late, and Charles Oliveira wins a 49-46 unanimous decision. Next fight we had Bo Nickal versus Paul Craig. Round 1, both guys come out, stand on the edge of the void. Nickal lands some nice leg kicks. Craig lands his own kicks as well. Both guys are pretty much just throwing kicks, and they're just giving each other a lot of feints. It's a pretty slow fight, slow round. And as they say, when you have two good grapplers, the fight usually stays on the feet. And that's exactly how this is looking. Nobody really lands anything of consequence. Both guys are landing. I'd say Nickal is landing a slightly better shots. It's a very close round, but I gave it 10-9 to Bo Nickal. Round 2, they come out. They're going tit for tat at range. Nickal's landing a little bit more. Nickal lands a couple body shots. Nickal lands a nice little overhand. Paul Craig is pretty much just blasting body kicks over and over again. Bo Nickal's blocking them with his arms, so they're not really doing much damage, but they are going to fatigue his arms. Nobody's really doing much or taking any real chances. Nickal lands a nice left straight counter, gets a good reaction out of Paul Craig, but Paul Craig just, like I said, just pretty much just throwing only body kicks and just really doing that. Round 3, Bo Nickal comes out throwing, lands a big right overhand, gets a pretty good reaction out of Paul Craig. Nobody is really taking any chances still in the third round to land anything of consequence. Nobody's going for takedowns, not even getting into the clinch. It's mostly just leg kicks, body kicks, jabs, and the occasional overhand mixed in with a lot of feints. Nickal lands a solid overhand left, gets a good reaction out of Paul Craig, and then just pretty much just rides out the round with a lot of feints and not really landing much else. Bo Nickal wins a 30-27 unanimous decision. I should include the judges' scorecards and the stats so you guys can check those out. Next fight, we had Viviane Araujo versus Karine Silva. Round 1, Silva takes the center of the octagon. She's on the front foot. Araujo is on her bike, circling the octagon, moving. Both ladies exchanging leg kicks and strikes, but nobody's getting the better of one another. Araujo's movement is very good. She's landing while moving so much, and I know that's very tough to do. Karine lands a big right hand. I gave round 1 to Karine Silva 10-9, but if someone gave it to Araujo, I totally understand. This fight was very close and just very tough to score all in all. Round 2, Araujo comes out early and lands a nice combination. Silva then starts walking Araujo down, landing a couple heavy shots against the cage. Silva gets a takedown. Araujo goes for an armbar. Silva escapes and keeps top control. Silva then goes for a Dart choke, gets out. It's another tough round. I gave it 10-9 to Silva, but like I said, if someone gave this to Araujo, I would completely understand. Round 3, Silva goes for a takedown, gets it. Araujo ends up on top though. Silva's starting to look fatigued a little bit. She's starting to slow down. Araujo lands 2 nice right hands. Silva doesn't really do much this round. Silva's kind of falling down on her back anytime they get tangled up. Araujo gets a takedown with a few seconds left in the round, and that pretty much just ends it. But I gave this round 10-9 to Viviane Araujo, but Viviane Araujo wins a 29-28 unanimous decision. Next fight, we have Mauricio Ruffy versus James Llontop. Round 1, both guys come out going tit for tat. Ruffy's landing jabs and leg kicks. Llontop is landing some jabs and his own kicks. Ruffy's timing and distance management are very evident straight away. Ruffy lands a sweet counter left hook and Llontop blitzes in. Ruffy lands a clean right hand, biggest punch of the fight. Llontop just eats it and then lands a spinning back kick to the body by Ruffy. This is a 10-9 round for Mauricio Ruffy. Round 2, both guys come out going tit for tat again. Ruffy lands a no-look left hook that drops Llontop. It's absolutely nasty. I'll see if I can include a picture so you guys can see it. It was phenomenal. Ruffy then starts opening up, landing some nasty shots. Spinning wheel kick lands, followed by a big right hand. Ruffy lands a big counter right hand over the top of Llontop. Llontop's face is really beat up and he's still walking forward. This is another 10-9 round for Mauricio Ruffy. Round 3, Llontop comes out walking forward, trying to use some pressure. Llontop is just marching forward, just walking through whatever he has to. Ruffy lands a clean left hook and a right hand. Gets very good reactions from Llontop. Llontop is being a bit more active and putting out more output than Ruffy. Ruffy lands a massive counter left hook again, but unfortunately, Llontop was just putting out more output and he ends up winning the round. But Mauricio Ruffy wins a 29-28 unanimous decision. Now we have the prelim highlights. In the first fight, we got Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. So round 1, they come out exchanging straight away. Jackson's landing front kicks to the body. Miller's countering with that left straight. They're going tit for tat. Both guys are landing, putting out some good volume. Damon then shoots the takedown. And then next thing you know, Jim Miller just snatches Damon Jackson's neck, jumps a guillotine, gets the tap. Jim Miller gets the first round submission by guillotine. Next fight, we have Marcin Tybura versus Jonathan Dinez. Round 1, Tybura comes out, shoots a takedown straight away. Dinez stuffs it initially, lands on top, and it's just landing some nice short little shots, getting some good reactions from Tybura then sweeps Dinez, ends up on top of the kickboxer. Tybura then gets control and then just starts unloading some nasty ground and pound. Tybura starts breaking down Dinez, and Dinez really has no chance of getting up or scrambling at all. Tybura moves in the mount and just continues the ground and pound, and that ends round 1. Round 2, Dinez comes out, marching forward, trying to put the pressure on, controlling the center of the octagon. Dinez is throwing big shots, and he's starting to land. And right as he starts to land, Marcin Tybura shoots another takedown, gets the takedown, and just starts unloading with ground and pound. And then next thing you know, Tybura is advancing his position right back in the mount, and he just starts landing nasty ground and pound again and just starts opening up Dinez's face. The elbows are doing the most damage for Tybura. Dinez is very lucky to survive the end of the round, but in between rounds, the doctor and translator come into the octagon, have a look at Jonata Dinez, and they stop the fight. Marcin Tybura wins by TKO. Next fight, we have Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Round 1, both guys are filling out the range. Gall is using his jab, Brahimaj is using more leg kicks. They're exchanging, both guys are landing. Gall is starting to get the slightly better of the exchanges. They come together, both guys land, and then on the exit, Brahimaj lands a massive right hand, drops Mickey Gall. Brahimaj swarms him, gets the finish, first round. Next fight, we have Basil Hafez versus Oban Elliott. Round 1, Elliott comes out landing oblique kicks to the lead leg. Hafez isn't really throwing much. He's throwing a lot of feints, doing a lot of stance switches, but literally just standing right in front of Oban Elliott and just isn't offering up much output. Elliott is just pointing Hafez from range with jabs and front kicks to the body. Hafez essentially is just standing right in front of him and just not engaging for whatever reason. It's a clear 10-9 round for Oban Elliott. Round 2, Oban Elliott comes out controlling the range. Hafez lands a left straight. Hafez is being a bit hesitant and still just isn't putting out a lot of output. I don't really know what's going on, but I mean, that's pretty much how he's been in the fight. Round 3, Elliott comes out, lands a massive overhand right, drops Basil Hafez. Oban Elliott proceeds to bounce his head off the mat with brutal ground and pound. Mark Goddard jumps in to stop the fight. Oban Elliott wins by 3rd round KO. If you made it this far in the video, I greatly appreciate it. Let me know what you think. Questions, comments, feedback, always appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel.